Today is GT500 day, and I just put on my new JLT air intake. So let's see how she performs today. Now, here is my brand new JLT air intake setup I just put on the other night. And the only complaint I have is, can you see the indentation right there? My shadow's kind of getting into it. You see it there. You see it there. So when you close the hood doesn't, actually go down all the way. So you have a gap right here. So you can see it here. So I'm guessing that it's right here that it's hitting. So do you trim it? Do you take like it's already trimmed a little bit right here. But my only concern is if you trim this too much, I know the thought process is you don't want water getting up in here. So that's kind of a tricky equation there, and it doesn't look terrible when you close the hood here, which I can kind of show you. But it is noticeable. See there? So that's what's kind of disappointing on the box. But once again, I guess I can modify a little bit and make it all work. But just a little heads up for anybody pondering the JLT, and just the guys that make them. No, not trying to be negative, just sharing information. So that's the idea here as I get ready to drive my GT500 today versus I've been driving my Shelby Super Snake Sport here for the last few weeks. Heck, I already got 3,000 miles on that thing, and it's just about a month old. All right, just getting the GT500 kind of going here, and get a little fun time out of her, even though it's kind of a cool day. 55 degrees out. So it'll be interesting to see if this JLT exhaust really does make a huge difference. Now, the dyno, they have a video. Individual did a video saying that you can see like 40 horsepower gains out of this air filter swap out from your factory box to the open air box. And if you think about it, when you have close to 800 horsepower, you've got 3% difference airflow, or 5%. There's 24 to 40 horsepower if you're working off a 3%, 5%, ratio, potentially gaining more power of your motor. Now, I know anybody say, oh, you get 3% more power of your car. Well, in a 100 horsepower car, yeah, whoop-de-doo-dah. But when you start talking 800 horsepower cars, that's a nice bump for a $300, $400, cost to you to add some fun to your car. So we will see here as we get down the road and get into some open road if I can really tell a big difference or not. That's the real key, is can you really tell that big a difference once you're up into this close to 800 horsepower. And I can tell you just from driving my Hellcats that have 707 horsepower, and then I got the Hellcat Red Eye that has 797 horsepower. So that's a 90 horsepower difference between the two cars. And yeah, you can feel the difference, but is it like a radical difference? It's not radical, but you definitely feel it. You definitely feel how she pulls harder for you, and she does slingshot you a little quicker, but it's not like radical difference. So, we're talking a 20, 30 horsepower difference once you get up to 760 horsepower, maybe 40 horsepower difference. I don't know. Without putting the car in a dyno, you could really honestly say that it was that dramatically different. We will continue our adventure here and let you know. All right, so you got my GoPro set up, and another thing that kind of is a negative here, being that you don't live behind the wheel of these cars. I mean, some people buy these and they drive them every day, and that's not what I'm going to do with mine, but I think that kind of would give you really a little better feel for the modification of an air cleaner, if you kind of know what I mean. And yeah, I get it. When you go to the tracks, why aren't guys seeing huge differences in quarter mile, eighth mile times with putting an air cleaner on their cars? So yeah, I kind of get that as well. But once again, you spend $300-400 to put a different airbox in your car. I mean, in the realm of things, how much money you spend in these cars, I don't think it's that big a deal. So even if I don't see a huge difference or a little difference, at the end of the day, it looks a little cooler, if you know what I mean, when you pop the hood. Look at the engine bay, and you got an open box air cleaner, so that's nice, if anything, right? Yeah, that was a bit of a, yeah, I can tell you what, I don't know. She kind of seems to suck a little more air there, so, yeah, not too shabby there. Maybe eat my words a little bit, I don't know here. So that was definitely a really good kick down and blast. Not too shabby. So we may have something here, which, wow, I'll be really impressed if that airbox really is that radical. But we'll see here. You know, I thought you would get the more of the supercharger kind of noise out of this thing, but you just don't get that, and it's just kind of a little disappointing, being that I'm used to riding around the Hellcats to get that supercharger whine, and it just doesn't resonate back into the car like it does in the Hellcats. Everybody's out and about. Fairness to JLT, you know, you're not going to be disappointed in buying the product, being that you're not going to lose power. You're going to get the aesthetic look in your engine bay, and you know, and I have to say there's a little bit more there. How much more, I can't say. So she still has the fun factor for sure. So if anybody said, would I buy one again? Yeah, I'd buy one again. Only criticism I'm going to give the JLT is that airbox seems to be a little too tall at certain points of the hood. So I think that needs to be re-engineered a little bit, which I don't think it's that big a deal. It's just a mold. Just kind of take down shave down a half an inch, you know, in some certain points, and I think you're good. Definitely, you know, and one thing that you have to think about in today's technology of these cars, you know, if you're an aftermarket, if you're selling aftermarket accessories and stuff for cars today, I mean, it's a big challenge, kind of, you know, outdoing what the manufacturer's doing, being that here you have a 760 horsepower factory car, and in the aftermarket, I mean, just how much can you do where it starts getting radical and expensive, and you know, and voiding the warranty. So, you know, there's kind of a fine line there. So you do have to give these aftermarket guys credit for not just throwing the towel in and being like, man, you know, it's just what can we offer to the guy with the GT500 that, you know, doesn't turn into a radical amount of money to really get a lot more out of her, and once again void the warranty out of her. So, you know, overall, I think JLT has done a great job, and Lethal Performance, for anybody that's looking to buy the product, Lethal Performance had a nice special on them, got a nice discount on it. So go to lethalperformance.com and they'll take good care of you. I was really impressed on how I ordered this last week. I think I ordered like on Wednesday, maybe even Thursday. I had it in my shop Saturday morning. So that's phenomenal. So that's great shipping, great price, and when you go to their website, they really do go out of their way to help you and support you to get what you want. Just reach out to them. I think you'd be very happy. How she does. Let's see what we get out of this here. Okay, you gotta come to a complete stop. Let's see here. So nothing great. Well, shows 4 seconds. Last time I got 3.9, so a little cooler day out. Not bad. I got a lot of gear. I got a passenger gear in the car with me too, so you don't know about that. But a little extra weight, a little cooler day. So that just kind of shows you having that air intake on this car. Does that really make this car that much faster? And that was kind of what was talked about in the Mustang GT500 forum, was, you know, does it